Hi there and welcome to yet another edition of the Lagos Transportation Agenda. As you know, this is the show in which we engage influential, knowledgeable and important stakeholders in the ecosystem of transportation in Lagos State, Nigeria and beyond. My name is Austin Iyan. The Lagos State Ministry of Transportation was created to tackle the problems of transport in the state and, among other things, set up a centralized transit system within the Lagos metropolis. The mandate of the ministry is to have a safe, reliable, effective and efficient integrated multimodal transportation system that is sustainable for the socio-economic benefit of Lagosians as a component of the Themes Plus agenda of the Lagos State government and the Greater Lagos Initiative. How far has it gone? What progress has been made, especially in the last 1 year, in actualizing this mandate? And what are the projections for year 2025? To discuss this and related issues with me is none other than the head of the Ministry of Transportation in the person of the Honourable Commissioner for Transportation in Lagos State, Mr. Oluwaseun Osiyemi. Honourable Commissioner, it's always a privilege to have you.
Good day, I must say, and I use this opportunity to say Happy New Year. This is the first time I'm saying this year.
Wish you the same, sir. Wish you the same. The Honourable Commissioner and I will be discussing the highlights of the ministry's activities in the last 1 year, 2024, and its projections for 2025 going forward. After this time out, when the Lagos Transportation Agenda returns. Please stay with us.
Akete ilé ọgbọ́n, Èkó akete ilé ọgbọ́n, arọ́mọdé dẹ́ kó má má já o, Èkó arọ́mísà lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́, arọ́mọdé dẹ́ kó má má sá o, Èkó arọ́mísà lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́.
Welcome back. It's the Lagos Transportation Agenda. My guest today is the Honourable Commissioner for Transportation in Lagos State, Mr. Oluwaseun Osiyemi. Let me start by, asking about the experience, your experience as commissioners in the commissioner in the last 1 year, and what has been the highlights for you.
Thank you very much. It's been 14 to 15 months in office, and it's been an interesting time, I must say. It's been interesting, it's been challenging, it's been engaging, and it's been a very good learning process as well. Learning process as a person, as an individual, learning process in knowing more about what people really need, because there's a big difference between giving products to people and services,
yes,
and knowing exactly what the need is. We've taken time to study our people, behavioral patterns, we've mined data to know exactly what people need and what would address what. That's the difference for us this last year.
So take us through the ministry's operations, the accomplishments, as well as the challenges and the opportunities that you were able to see in the course of carrying out your mandates as a commissioner, as a ministry, basically.
Thank you very much. What we immediately worked on was a policy framework, because without a policy framework, you won't be able to speak to a lot of things.
Yes.
The policy framework, of course, became our roadmap, and also things that we need to achieve, which brought about our transportation policy that was launched last year.
Yes.
That, of course, has about 14 elements that we need to deal with, and the implementation process of that, of course, started late last year, but the full implementation will be blown this year. Beyond that, there were also some great things that were done in the ministry. Of course, we all remember that the Red Line was launched last year.
Yes.
And of course, went through all of the testing, and now our passengers now use the red line. We also remember that on the waterways, there were a couple of initiatives that were done, and Mr. Governor also did launch some ferries, 40-seater ferries. 15 was done, 10 additional would come on stream this year as well. Total of 25. And that's to boost the waterway and to encourage people to get on our waterways, so we can also use that as the opportunity to decongest the road. We did launch a couple of initiatives. The bus reform initiative started last year, which had to do with public transportation in the area of trying to formalize the informal sector. The implementation of that will come this year.
Yes.
I'll speak more about that as we proceed.
Okay. So in the last 1 year, what would you say were the most challenging aspects of implementing your agenda? Because in the course of our this program, we usually want to sample basically opinion on. Some people talk about the human aspect, people compliance, especially. So, what's your perspective on that?
Well, I would say that every program and every project has its own style and process. I think a lot more will speak to people's compliance, people.
Yes.
So much that, yes, you can bring on initiative, but you must also find a way in ensuring that people do comply. And you know how people are when it comes to change. If they have a particular way they are behaving, it takes a bit of push and shove to ensure that they comply with the new things you want to bring, especially when it's completely new. So a bit challenging, a bit interesting, a bit more tasking when it comes to the area of enforcement, in ensuring that people do comply. And I always tell people it's quite interesting on how we behave, people within the same set of people that would behave differently within the confines of Nigeria. When they step out to as close as Cotonou or Ghana, they behave differently. So I think it's systemic, which is what we are trying to change over time. Good it is that we are making, we're getting mileage on those things. We've also adopted technology to assist us in the space of those improvements, because people resist change, and sometimes they do attack our enforcement officials. So we try as much as possible to use technology to drive some of these changes we intend to make.
Okay, talking about technology, let me just take you up on something you mentioned in our last engagement last year about the certain apps that will help to manage the traffic situation in the Ekpe corridor, the Lagos, the deep sea port, and all those new developments that are taking place there. I don't know what progress has been made since then. Can you expand on that?
I guess you're definitely speaking about the e-collop.
Yes.
The e-collop system in Lekki Free Trade Zone, interestingly, had to go through a lot of processes, stakeholders engagement, and all of whatnot. But I'm proud to tell you today that the enforcement did start about 3 weeks ago. A lot of those trucks are now registering, getting them into place, and enforcement is ongoing, because the moment you enforce, people would tend to comply more. So that it's ongoing, is working, and can only get better. There are other technology-driven initiatives. Interestingly, we did launch one today. The ITS, Intelligent Transport System, which has to do with the e-checking and the e-police. What that does is that it manages our speed limits. So we have 4 locations that we launched this morning: Mobolaji Bank Anthony Way, the Allen Junction, Alapere, and then Lupopo. We have those cameras there that, one, speaks to the speed limit. 2, we also have those that speak to you not maintaining your lane, or you jumping the red lights. You know, there are fines attached to these infractions when committed, and you know, it's technology driven. You get a text message once those infractions are committed. It's all in the way of, one, driving safety on our roads, and also to ensure that people comply to our rules.
Still the Lagos transportation agenda. We will come back after the break. We will still engage the Commissioner for Transportation in Lagos State, Mr. Osiyemi, on the way forward and what are the projections of the Lagos State government going forward after this time out. Please don't go away.
Welcome on board the newly retrofitted light ferry, where innovation meets comfort on water. As you step onto our state-of-the-art vessel, you'll notice the modern design and enhanced facilities that prioritize your safety and enjoyment. Our retrofitting process has not only upgraded the aesthetics, but also improved the performances of the boat, ensuring a smoother and faster journey across the beautiful Lagos waterways. Feel free to explore the spacious sitting areas equipped with comfortable amenities such as life jackets for all passengers, a first aid box, fire extinguisher, all for a relaxing ride. Our knowledgeable crew is here to assist you, making your journey as enjoyable as possible. Join us as we set sail towards a more efficient and eco-friendly future, embracing technology while celebrating the vibrant culture of Lagos. Thank you for choosing Lag Ferry, where every ride is a memorable adventure.
If you're just joining, this is the Lagos Transportation Agenda, and my guest today is the Honourable Commissioner for Transportation in Lagos State, Mr. Oluwaseun Osiyemi. We have spent the best part of the last few minutes on the highlights of the ministry's activities and operations in 2024, and let's look forward to what promises to be yet another eventful year, maybe even more eventful. The last year was, hopefully for the better. So take us through what the ministry and the government of Lagos State is planning for the transportation ecosystem in 2025.
All right, thank you very much. It's interesting to actually say that 2025 would be a year of a lot of consolidation and also new things to come. I use the word consolidation because there's been some deals and some projects in pipeline that will start manifesting this year.
Okay.
From the ministry perspective, one of it would be the implementation of transport policy. We've highlighted those 14 elements, and then we're focusing on about 5 of them because we need to phase them out over 3 years.
Yes.
The first 5 will start this month, which will deal with public safety, and a couple of other public transportation and a couple of other things. We're also focusing on infrastructure.
Okay.
As a ministry, we have the responsibility to ensure that we do put infrastructure in place to ensure good traffic management system. Some of it would be in the area of road infrastructure, junction improvement. We started the junction improvement for Okpebia Lane last year. We should complete it this year. That junction improvement is meant to complement the Odo-Yalaro Bridge, which will bring more traffic onto that Okpebi Road. And so because of that, there's a need to improve those junctions. So you would see a lot of remodification on that road that would enhance, of course, traffic flow. It's going to involve closing some from roundabouts, involve expansion of some roads, increasing the roads from 2 lanes to 4 lanes, you know, and a lot of those would come. And beyond that, we also should be expecting things in the area of sustainability.
Okay.
We had started discussions with private sector to bring in 2,000 CNG buses. Some of those buses will come this year. We also have discussions in electric buses with private companies as well. 500 of those buses should come this year. There's a partnership that was started last year between Lagos State and GAC in the e-hailing space to bring 5,000 cars. Okay. The first batch, 2,000 of those cars would come, out of which 1,000 would be electric. All of this is just driving towards sustainability and also ensuring that we put assets that can drive and can aid transportation in Lagos. In the rail space, would get a lot of interesting things to come. One of it will be the completion of the Blue Line, If you know very well, the blue line has a phase 1,
Yeah.
which started from Marina to Mile 2.
Yes.
The Mile 2 to Kokomaiko
yes.
should be completed this year. It's ongoing as we speak. And then again, the interesting thing and the game changer, I'll call it, is the green line. The green line is coming.
Wow.
And the green line is coming this year. The green line starts from Marina all the way to Lekki Free Trade Zone.
Wow.
So that would bring a lot of mind-blowing changes. There are also interchanges.
Okay.
These interchanges are hubs where we can find transport hubs, where you would find 3 modes of transportation: the land, the rail, and the water meets.
Okay.
So, I mean, we have 2 major ones that we're working on presently. One is in Marina, one is in Mile 2. October this year is a projected time of completion for those projects.
Yes.
So I can tell you for free, this year, those ones too will be completed. We move on to the Purple Line. The Purple Line is also a discussion ongoing, starts from Volkswagen all the way to Moe.
Okay.
You know, that also would be coming. So there's a lot in play. And in all of this, there would also be connectivity at some point. All right. So we move from there to the waterways.
Yes.
In the waterways, I mentioned to you, Mr. Governor was magnanimous to put 25 new ferries. Out of the 15 of them are already on the waterways working, the omnibus. The additional 10 would come this year before the end of this quarter. I will launch into it. There's an Omieko project that is starting this year. God willing to. The Omieko has to do with constructing 25 new ferries. It involves channelization and dredging to ensure that the waterway is fit for it to travel. And the most interesting part of it is that we'll be getting 72 electric vessels. So you will see water vessels. So you will see 72 electric ferries on our waterways. That will change the game. It brings comfort, it brings confidence, it brings reassurance.
Yes.
Because we have not even tapped into our waterways at all.
Yes.
With that, we expect that
the percentage is still very
low. All we need to do is just get 20-30% of the people using the road to go on our waterways. And then the difference will be the same. Don't forget, on our waterways, the journey time is even shorter.
Of course.
It's just to be able to reassure people that waterways are safe. And you know, to do that, we're very big on compliance. And we've also, in the regulatory body for the waterways, LASWA, we have the control room. The control center is where they can see, initially they could see only 5 locations. Now they can see well over 10 and expanding to 20 jetties.
Yes.
Which means that they can see everywhere on the waterways.
Exactly.
So peradventure, God forbid, there's a mishap, the reaction time improves. We have our trained guards as well that are there. We have everything in place to ensure that people get that confidence to be able to get onto the waterways. That being said, even in our parking system, without a good parking plan, your traffic management would not work.
Exactly.
So in the parking space where we have parking authority, there's something called the on-street parking. That also will start this year.
Okay. What does it entail?
The parking, the on-street parking is what you see all over the world, whereby you have designated parks in Lagos, where you can park your vehicles. Of course, you have to pay a particular sum to be able to do that. And it gives you the time, in the duration which you can stay. Those parks, those areas are laid and marked. So there, you can pay via app, you see the meter, you pay, you park there. So you're taking away all those urchins from going to create unnecessary fare in people that want to park, and they'll park in the appropriate places because they're designated places for people to park. We're also encouraging private sector to bring in more multi-story parking, especially in business districts.
Exactly.
So all of these things are things that we have in plan for this year. Thank you.
Okay. The human aspect, can you say a bit about the capacity, how you are building capacity to be able to, you talked about guards for waterways and so on. How are you building capacity to meet up with this rapid developments that you're embarking on in 2025?
Thank you. Capacity building is something that we do not take for granted. And Mr. Governor is very strategic in this space, which is why we have agencies dealing with different areas. Those agencies are built to deal with, I mean, I'll give you an example. In the waterways, for example, you have LASWA, who is the regulator on the waterways. They have a very young and nimble team that are very experienced. They are ISO certified, and they go for constant trainings, you know, on the waterways to know exactly how to run this. They've done this over the years. On the rail space and the public transport space, regulated transport, formal sector, we have Lamata. Lamata has been around for close to 20 years. This style of running the state is one that brings area of specialization to different units and ensuring that you put them there. And not only do you get the job done, you also build capacity in the process. So today I tell you for free, Lamata is not just a Nigerian or Lagos known. All through Africa, we get people coming from different spaces in the world to come and learn. Likewise, in our parking space, we have an agency called the Parking Authority. Their role is to face parking and ensure that there's proper, number one, there's a parking policy, and also there's a pattern and a roadmap for how they intend to carry out the parking in Lagos. So capacity is stems out of one, putting area of specializations in particular buckets and ensuring you get the right lead and constant training. Let me cast your mind immediately to where our red line terminates. It terminates in Agbado. Agbado is in Ogun State. So there was some collaboration between Lagos and Agbado, and it's rather Ogun State, to complete that project. Also, if you notice, our so for the Mowe, there would also be collaboration. There's an existing one. We're just building on it. Ogun State, on the other hand, also speaking to us on how to take it into their own state. Now, back to, you mentioned something again.
Nigerian Railway Corporation.
Nigerian Railway Corporation. If you look at the blue line runs on a dedicated line owned by Lagos State and is electric. The red line runs, we could share the track with NRC. So there's collaboration. For us to co-share those tracks, there are a couple of things that we will have put in place. One, they must give us time in which we can operate, because they also have a line that they run, and there must not be interaction between those trains. So they must give us time for running those tracks. There's signalization and all of what we need to do. So there's big collaboration with not just an NRC, also states, to ensure that we have a seamless and wonderful transportation system.
And it's good to know also that the new head of the NRC used to be a commissioner here too. So I guess you have friends in high places.
Well, I must also commend the last NRC chairman. He was very good, and he was very cooperative. The new man, like you rightly said, is an in-house person. Okpefa, you know, is a good brother and a colleague. So the collaboration will just get stronger.
Much better. Well said. Thank you so much, Commissioner.
Thank you very much.
It's always a privilege to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was our conversation with the Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation, the Honourable Mr. Oluwaseun Osiyemi, on the activities of the Ministry of Transportation in the last 1 year and the projections for 2025. I am sure you found the conversation very enlightening and illuminating. So thank you for watching, and I hope you join us at this time next week on this very same channel for yet another interesting discourse with another guest. Until then, this is Austin Inyan saying, think safety always.